Astrology Soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to this video on the first new moon that we are going to have as we come across the threshold of 2022. This particular moon is going to be at 12 degrees and 19 minutes of Capricorn. And as you can even see, as we're looking at the screen and looking at the horoscope of this particular moon, it's really interesting because there's so much energy happening in Capricorn. And even though we're here on the second and we're having this moon, and Mercury is actually in the energy of Aquarius instead of Capricorn, Mercury will backtrack and come back to this energy of Capricorn. So everything we're going to look at, talk about, feel, sense through, and be able to use energetically at this particular moon, Mercury is going to come back and try and crystallize that in the mind just a little bit as well. Now, also the other thing I do want to point out is that yes, the new moon, which is the sun and the moon in conjunction here that we see, it is not close necessarily to that Venus and that Pluto conjunction that we see happening there, but the energy of Capricorn is absolutely alive, intense, potent, and vibrating like crazy at the beginning of the year. So that said, first of all, I do hope that you've checked out your 2022 yearly forecast. I'll make sure there's a link up above so you can click there, or you can check out the playlist on my homepage. But also, something to consider is that the themes we are going to see at this particular new moon are important because essentially what they're going to do is give us an opportunity here to be able to see the theme and the pattern of what we're going to deal with throughout 2022 and where we're going to land by the time we end 2022. We're going to start off with Venus retrograde here in Capricorn, a new moon lighting it up. And then as we travel and we get to the end of the year, we're going to also end with a moon in Capricorn. And then we will begin the Mercury retrograde in air signs in Capricorn as well. So truly the beginning of the year, the end of the year, they are focused around these themes. And the themes that I really came up with and I really want to share with you as we're going through this particular moon, and I'm showing you the astrology, is that it's still Capricornian. You know, these are themes of what is helping me achieve, what is helping me achieve mastery, what is helping me demonstrate mastery, what is helping me to be organized, are my structures, are my foundations, are the traditions that have guided my life, are they solid and can I stand upon them? These are some very important questions that I think we find ourselves in the space of as we're dealing with a Capricorn new moon. Now, if you've never been here before, you're early to studying astrology, I just want to take a minute and welcome you. Thank you so much for popping into this video. And if this kind of content interests you, please definitely hit the subscribe button. Now, if you've never experienced a new moon or you are young to learning about it, a new moon is actually when the sun and the moon are together in the sky. And as they come together, they represent timing in our cycle. But it's a time when the moon is essentially renewing itself. The sky is dark. So this is a time of magic. It's a time where the soil, the soil beneath our feet is very, very fertile. So we begin things here. We create an initiation. We plant our seeds of intention to begin something. Now we're also going to plant our seeds to begin something in Capricorn, which is a cardinal or an initiating energy as well. So truly, this is a very potent time, and what you plant in your soil, that means what you're thinking, what you're starting, what you're bringing into this moon. You are asking for this fresh start or this fresh perspective on it, but what you plant here, for good or for ill, you are going to definitely spend some time working with over this next year. I just talked about how potent this is from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So I encourage you, I encourage each of us to slow down, take the time that we need to be intentional about our goals, about the directions, the ambitions, the titles that we have, the mastery that we have, and where you want to be on your path of not only your ambition, but your recognition within your society. You know, where do you feel like you fit and you are useful in your society and in your community, and what does that mean to you? I invite you to be very, very intentional as you interact with your practice of astrology and the energies around you. All right, let's get in here and explore this moon just a little bit so you can get out and enjoy it. Now, this is definitely the moon where I'm going to tell you, I think it is the get it together. Like, you are a whole individual autonomous person, step it on up, as I definitely think a bit of the energy as we interact with this moon. We see the sun and the moon here in conjunction with one another. And when our luminaries are together, it means that anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. So plant your seeds. What's the path that you want to be on this year? What are your goals, your dreams, your aspirations for yourself? Because under Capricorn energy, you're not just making the plan, but you're making sure that the structures, the foundation underneath you is in place and is solid. You're taking inventory of your life, of the areas of your life, to make sure that you have what you need in order for them to be successful. So it's a time where you're getting pretty honest, not just about having the dream and the goal, but what you need to make it happen, right? This is the make it happen kind of energy. Remember, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the planet that maybe doesn't give you a whole ton of desires, but it'll give you the energy that you need to get it done, right? Mars says, oh, I want to be the president when I grow up, or I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. And Saturn gives you the tenacity to stay with the schooling, to stay with the hustle in order to achieve that. So this is an achievement oriented energy, but it has to be done quite seriously. We are asked to step up and take an honest review of what's going on in our lives. Now, this particular moon sits in a wonderful aspect, a trine to this Uranian energy over here. Now, these energies being entwined to one another create a pocket of opportunity, a pocket of ease that becomes available to us, okay? So as this pocket of ease is made available, it means that not only is there an ease of access to this Uranian set of qualities that we've got going on as it trines this moon, but that ease is really related to a willingness to get out of our comfort zone. Uranus is still retrograde. We see that at this particular moon. So it means you have a view of looking backwards towards the freedom that you want to take moving forward. Uranus in Taurus is freedom from my finances, freedom from how I eat, how I nourish myself, what I value, right? So we found out while Uranus has been traveling through Taurus that some of these areas of our life may be unsteady or they may be uncomfortable. We've been on the fence with making decisions around our relationships, our money, our values, our diets. And Uranus has come along and shaken some things to the surface, shaken us out of our comfort zone. So this particular trine offers us an opportunity to engage with the reality of doing some things different. This is an earth trine. Earth signs like to touch it, feel it, taste it. It's tangible. I need to be able to have a physical interaction with it. So as these two are interacting, you may find that throughout 2022, you're going to try to do something different. You are going to go about something different. That Uranus shaking and waking up that mountain has brought gems, jewels, creative talents that you didn't even realize you had to the surface, and now you're ready to implement them. I also think about just the financial feature of Taurus and coming against the structure of Capricorn. We've had so many things with this Pluto right here going through Capricorn saying, hey, we are tearing down the old structures of government, of society, of business, how we've traditionally done those things. The ruling planet of that has moved into the energy of Aquarius. So how do you make your money? Is that different? Does it need to be different now? Is it, yes, that you're saying it's still with the same company, but you're working from home? Or did this Uranian energy right here awaken some jewels and some gems? They were unearthed from you, and you found out that you're actually quite good at doing business in a different way. Maybe you have realized that I cannot survive on one or two incomes. I need to get these passive income streams done. So I'm learning, I'm trying something else, I'm studying something different. Whatever it is that this particular new moon, plant your seeds of intention of continuing that willingness to try something different in order to allow your structures, your success, and your foundations to be put in place so that no matter what comes along, if the bottom falls out per se, you've created something really solid for yourself, okay? Now, other things that I want to keep in mind as we're traveling at this particular new moon is that, yes, we are coming to this new moon with Venus in retrograde. She's right here, okay? But we're also in retrograde. But we've also got Venus in conjunction to this Pluto energy. Now, when Venus and Pluto come together, I actually really prefer this energy. I think it's quite good. It can be intense, but we're laced with this energy of desire. Okay, and it's quite driven. Pluto is a quite driven energy, although it moves really very slowly. But as these two come together, our desire to Venus retrograde, understand and attract to us what we value. And because Venus is retrograde, we are literally re-evaluating what is valuable to us that helps us achieve, which relationships are valuable to us that help us achieve, help us get serious about meeting these goals, having the life that we want, having the public standing that we want, owning our mastery, right? Our finances, we just get really honest with these two together. Now, Pluto is also going to help in that conjunction to weed out bad behaviors or behaviors that are not productive, to allowing Venus to attract into our lives what we need to be successful. Remember, Venus is attracting. It's an attracting energy. She's not necessarily looking to go out and like, you know, I'm a Venus in Aries. So I'm like, I'm going to knock you over your head and take you to my freaking love lair. You know what I mean? But Venus is actually an attracting energy. It's trying to let things come in. So it may be also that you see or you feel during this new moon time and over the next 4 weeks that, you know, did you have an opportunity to step into a relationship that is successful, support your success, support your foundation, or did you have an opportunity to step into work or something like that that would have brought your financial life to a different experience? Because with Venus and Pluto together, you want a deeper experience, which means you got to get your hands dirty in it, with your finances, with your relationships. And because Venus is retrograde, it's like it's bringing it back to the table, like another chance to engage this or to get on board with this. But now you have a different understanding of what's going on. I also think that because Venus is Venus and Pluto is Pluto, if you do have things going on in your intimacy life, in your heart space life, where there are issues of possessiveness, jealousy, obsession, any of those things, if there's even, you know, if you had things going on in the legal system or with the government, you know, if there's been any kind of criminal activity, we may see things like this rising to the surface as well. Even as we are approaching this moon, we may see that even a couple days early. But this moon does offer an opportunity to handle and to deal with those things. And like I said, a willingness to step into new action. Now we need to see what the ruling planet of this particular moon is getting itself into. And the ruling planet of this moon is Saturn. And Saturn is still positioned in the energy right here of Aquarius, but it is not retrograde this time. It is direct. And we see Saturn sitting in a nice trine over here to Mars, and also a sextile, and also a pretty nice sextile over here to Chiron. And Chiron and Mars are in a trine to one another. So the apex point is really this Saturnian energy. So what does all of that mean? So what that means is that we are granted a nice bit of stable action that comes out of the source of having a new identity. While Chiron was retrograde in 2021, we were re-looking at our identities. We were re-looking at what makes me me. What do I think? What is my voice about that? Where do I not trust this new identity that I have just yet, but I need to move it out into my society. I need to move it out into my world because this is who I really am. Chiron in Aries is the wound of the identity, unsure of who and what I am. Certainly the world has felt a little up and down, a little bumpy. So figuring out who we are in this new alignment, especially with technology and other issues that have come up in our society, we've had to do some realigning. But also this sextile happening over here to this energy of Mars says this is solid, steady action. This is fire and air coming together with a hopeful possibility of actions that extend and expand our horizons. And all of this set to the tune of a new moon. So how phenomenal is it to consider that going out into the world, going out into our community, our visions, our aspirations, and our dreams for ourselves going forward are set to the tune of such steady energy that can be helpful to us if we will inventory, grow up, take responsibility for our lives, for our emotions, for our places in the economy and what we're doing with that, right? And get outside of our comfort zone to figure out how we're going to do that. So this really is, I think, a phenomenal moon for helping us get organized, get restructured, and then take the action on that. But first, we've got to do the Capricornian management things, which is take stock. We have to take stock and take inventory of what we have got, what's going on in my relationship with my family, what's going on in my relationship with my spirituality, what's going on in my relationship with my money. Take stock of these particular areas so you can see if there are any leaks in the boat per se, okay? Especially, please pay attention to things around your finances and what that looks like for you. If we had another shutdown on this planet, or if you were injured today, is your financial life, is your relationship life in some kind of steady measure that you could be okay, or at least know that you have a little bit of leeway? These are the things that we may be looking at to see how do they help us achieve, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I hope that this gives you a little bit of insight, something to work with. Make sure you are looking at your own chart to identify where 12 degrees of Capricorn is lighting up for you. If you don't have a chart, please come get one from me in the description box down below, or you can go to astro.com. As well, if you're not quite sure how to identify where this transit is happening in your chart, I've also got a video in the description box down below to show you how to find the active transit. All right, my beautiful friends, like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I love you a ton. Happy first new moon of 2022, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.